Well, we're joined now by the Minister of Police's spokesperson, Lirandzu. Themba, Lirandzu, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. The Minister by now should be well aware of the numerous calls being made for him to step down, the DA being just one of those organizations. What are his reflections on these calls, and will he be stepping down?
Thank you so much, Kathy, for the opportunity to really put on record what has been said many a times, that the police minister serves at the behest of the president. And Mr. Steenhuisen also indicates that. But also is something that we cannot forget, that just last week the president has expressed his full confidence and backing of the police ministry. So the police minister and the police ministry take the cue from the fact that the president of the country has spoken. He did not mince his words when he said that he believes that the Minister of Police has not lost the fight against crime. He hasn't given up on the fight against crime. He remains committed to the fight against crime. So the minister, Kathy, does not have such intentions to step down.
It's not surprising that the president would come out in support of his minister. They belong to the same political organization. But if the public, if South Africans believe that they've lost complete trust in the minister, surely that in and of itself is enough of a case for the minister to consider, regardless of the fact that he's serving at the behest of the president, because the people he's serving are the South African people.
Completely, but I don't think it's a fair reflection to say 33,000 people that have signed this online petition are a reflection of what South Africans think. What I can tell you, Kathy, is that we are interacting with South Africans on a daily basis through our Imbizo programs. We're interacting with hundreds of thousands of people that have not made this call, but in fact have asked and called on the police minister to obviously sharpen the focus of police resources for police actions. And this is what the minister is busy with. You know, it is under his administration, Kathy, that we can safely say that the DNA backlog is being put to bed. We are sitting at around 88,000 specimens that are yet to be processed. This, of course, is a downtrend from about 240,000, meaning that work is being done, Kathy. We are, of course, very concerned, and we are aware that South Africa has a crime problem, but it's not like, you know, hands are being folded and people are doing nothing. There's interventions, there's funding that has been put in the relevant places, there's the rejuvenation of critical and very important SAPS units that are critical in terms of the police reaching their mandate to service the people of this country. And this is happening under the leadership of the so-called useless and danger to society minister. So it's very unfortunate. The police ministry, Kathy, views this protest action by the Democratic Alliance as ill-conceived and misplaced. And we really hope that they could use this sort of vigor and energy to engage in constructive engagements with not only the police ministry, but also with the SAPS to look for ways that we can all work together towards a safer South Africa.
Of course, in the same breath, it hasn't just been the DA that does not have confidence in the minister. You've also had a number of women's groups and activists who have indicated the extent to which there's been a complete failure of the police when it comes to the protection of women, especially when we're talking about issues of gender-based violence. And there is, of course, the comments that were made by the minister, which have been seen as insensitive and really completely unreasonable. Why it is that he would speak like that, given the fact that he is the police minister?
Kathy, let me start with the last part of your question. And you are obviously referring to the comments that were made by the minister, where he was heard saying that a woman would be lucky to be raped by one person, if lucky. And that, of course, he quantifies it. But, you know, it was lost in translation, Kathy, and that's the truth. I can tell you this much, just a person working with the police minister, but also with many other advocacy groups that can indicate that the vigor at which the police ministry has been in the forefront, advocating for the police service to improve and sharpen their services to victims of gender-based violence. On the same breath as well, Kathy, the police minister under this administration has made ensure that each and every police station in the country has access to a gender-based violence desk, meaning that victims of gender-based violence crimes are given the sort of professional service that they deserve at police stations, and they're not berated and they're not subjected to secondary victimization. So this is happening under the police minister's watch, but this is not about the police minister. This is about the overall SAPS competency and SAPS ability to serve the nation, especially women and children. I need to also just point out that we do have the FCS unit, which is a unit that solely focuses on crimes committed against women and children. Their record speaks for themselves, Kathy. And these advocacy groups that you're talking about, they're very much well aware of. Can more be done? Of course. That is the very reason why there is that noise that is coming from some quarters of society that more needs to be done by the SAPS. And let's be honest, removing one person is not going to fix the systematic problems that exist in an organization. What needs to happen is that heads need to be put together from civil society, from businesses, from religious quarters, even from political parties, to make sure that the fight against crime is intensified.
So Lirandzu, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does it mean that the minister is going to be meeting with all of those that have been asking for him to step down, or that want him to step down? Because ultimately it speaks to sectors of our society that have lost trust in him as a police minister.
Absolutely. In fact, there's an organization that was in your channel just 2-3 days ago, and the police ministry has set up a meeting with them where we want to sit down and find out what is it that they expect and what is it that we can do as a police ministry to better service and also answer their calls. So, of course, the doors of the police ministry are always open for such engagements, but they're not only just open. Such engagements are ongoing. We've had numerous community engagements with those very quarters that I'm talking about, Kathy. So it's not as if, these things are not happening in the background. Hence, we're saying that this call by the DA is unfortunately misplaced, because if it really, the intention was to improve the community's safety and security, we would be having better engagements in the Western Cape, where, by the way, that political party is governing, and we've seen an improvement in the crime situation, and we believe that that improvement in the crime situation is as a result of putting resources of the SAPS as well as the provincial government together, and hence we're seeing a drop in some of the crimes in that area, coupled with, of course, interventions by the SAPS.
Lirandzu, Themba will leave it there. She speaks on behalf of the police minister.